In 1492, Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic and discovered a world no European had ever seen. Part 1. The Whisper of a Lost Document. In the late 1400s, several Portuguese chroniclers mentioned a strange document locked deep inside the archives of the House of Avis, a large landmass far to the west of Europe, labeled Ilha Grande do Ocidente, the Great Island of the West. No one should have known about that land before Columbus. So where did this knowledge come from? Part 2. The Prince Who Knew Too Much. Henry gathered the greatest mathematicians, astronomers, map-makers, and scholars of his time at the famous school of Sagres. And here's where the story gets interesting. At that time, the Moors had ruled parts of Portugal and Spain for over 700 years. Portuguese sailors openly admitted they used Arabic astrolabes, Arabic star manuals, and Arabic sailing techniques. Did this map come from pre-Columbian Muslim sailors? Part 3. Clues hidden in language. Several coastal names on the island were written in forms resembling Arabic. The notations did not follow typical Portuguese compass bearings. Instead, they followed Qibla-style astronomical navigation. Used by Muslim sailors, this matters because Arabic navigation manuals often described lands far into the Atlantic, lands that European maps would not show for decades. But here's where things get more mysterious. The map wasn't drawn like a medieval fantasy. It was drawn like a real coastline, with bays, with capes, with presumed landing points, almost like a survey, something that requires physical exploration. Part 4. Could Muslim navigators have reached America? Muslim sailors were extremely advanced. They used precise star position tables, spherical geometry, open ocean navigation, celestial latitude measurements centuries before Europeans. West African sailors traveled far into the Atlantic. Accounts from Mali mentioned huge expeditions heading west around the 1300s. Islamic scholars described unknown western lands. Some medieval Arabic texts speculate about massive islands far across the ocean. So is it really impossible that Muslim navigators reached the western Atlantic, and later their knowledge slipped into Portuguese hands? Part 5. The Portuguese silence. Here's something bizarre. Portugal had a strict policy called Regimento do Segredo, the rule of secrecy. Any discoveries, maps, or navigational secrets were locked away, copied only by order of the king, forbidden from being shared with foreigners. Sometimes completely destroyed. The Portuguese Empire depended on secrecy. If they had a map showing land in the west before Columbus, they would have buried it. And many historians believe that's exactly what happened. Part 6. Why doesn't the map survive? Skeptics argue, if such a map existed, where is it today? There are several possibilities. Many medieval archives burned in fires, including Lisbon's 1755 disaster. Some documents were removed or relocated, especially during wars and royal transitions. Portugal deliberately hid or destroyed sensitive maps. This is well documented. Many explorers worked with secret charts. The map may still exist, but locked in restricted archives. Some Portuguese maritime archives are still closed to the public, so its disappearance doesn't mean it never existed. Part 7. What exactly did the chart show? Based on descriptions, the chart included a large landmass west of Europe, a coastline eerily similar to parts of North America, Arabic-like place names, astronomical navigation signs, estimated star positions for guiding sailors to that land. Notes about winds and currents. Some researchers believe the land resembled Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. Others think it could point to the Caribbean. Either way, it was far beyond what Europeans should have known in the 1400s. Part 8. Alternative explanations. To be fair, not all historians agree. Some propose it was a distorted memory of Iceland or Greenland, a mythical land like Antilia or Atlantis, a misinterpreted medieval legend, a scribal error in the chronicles, a symbolic representation. Not a real map. But every explanation has one problem. Why were Arabic names on a Portuguese chart? And why did Portuguese explorers behave as if they already knew there was land to the west? Part 9. The unanswered questions. We may never know the whole truth, but this mystery raises powerful questions. Why did Portuguese documents mention a western land before Columbus, who created the map? And why was it hidden? Did Muslim navigators cross the Atlantic long before Europeans recorded it? And what else lies buried in the forbidden archives of Portugal? Until someone uncovers the lost star chart, the truth remains locked in the shadows of history. But one thing is certain. If this map was real, then the discovery of America didn't start in 1492. It started long before, and the world simply wasn't allowed to know. If you want more forgotten mysteries and unexplained historical secrets, subscribe for the next episode.